Want to do the best thing you can do for turkey habitat, wildlife habitat, all your ground nesting birds? Light a match. Normally, I burn getting ready for turkeys around the beginning of February, but with the late season, last year I put it back to March. I put it back to March this year. But as you can see, things have bloomed out like crazy. This is now greened up. So the question I got now, will it burn? Want to burn, but you're scared? You should be. I am every time. I used to burn everything we used to burn was myself and my son, 2 people. It's a little goofy, but that was before I came down with chickenitis. The cure for chickenitis? More people. Go ahead and pay the Forestry Commission in your area to get them to help you burn it. You will relax so much more. All right, we have brought in the experts today of the Georgia Forestry Commission. I see they have put the A1 crew on it, and that's what we're talking about. That makes dripping a whole lot easier. When you're burning fire through an area, you're setting back nature taking over and it becoming a woodlot, especially like here in the south, because anytime you've got an area and you leave it totally undisturbed, it's going to go through phases. It'll be grass, then small shrubs, and finally, if you do nothing, it's going to be trees. So when we run a fire through, we set that back and keep it in that early successional growth with the forbs, the beneficial grasses. 90% of a poult's diet, insects. And mom and daddy love some insects too when the time comes. So that's why you're running through. On an area like the hayfield back there, we burn that every year. All right, just because it helps the grass, it makes it easier for my man to bale. And I'm gonna go to the back end of that and make a food plot. Hopefully we can keep the hogs out. And anyway, the rest of it, that's a monoculture of grass, so I'm really not doing anything but encouraging the bugs to get back in because it's those fresh new shoots of grass, and that will really encourage it. All right, in other places, 3-year rotation or 2 years max, so that we're keeping brood habitat, nesting habitat, insects for food, all on a rotating basis and all adjacent. So you got a tract here that's just been burned, you got a tract here that was burned a year ago, you got a tract over here that was burned 2 years ago, but it's all adjacent. So keep that in mind when you burn it. Try to do it in thirds, and be careful if you think, oh, a little burning's good, a lot of burning's great. If you burn everything, you're going to take one of those legs of your stool out. Either you're going to lose, and the one you'll take out will be a scape cover. All right, that'll be gone because there'll be no overhead, mid-story, not even mid-story, heavy shrubs like for a turkey to nest in. Enhance it by pulling in treetops, brush piles, hinge cut. Hens nest in that. Hens love having some overhead structure like an umbrella cover. Mark some areas out that you want to leave, like if you've got a good row of hog plums or wild plums, there's no better overhead cover for a hen to nest under. You got fruit that falls, and you got protection from, with all those thistly limbs, avian predators can't swoop down on them, and they can get under their loaf. It's good for them to get shade under it. So those are some things to think about next time you burn. It'll only take this hayfield about 2 weeks to green up. Now what I hope is that once this greens up, bugs come in and the turkeys follow. They have in the past. I hope and pray they will this year. But either way, I'm going to give them the chance with some early new growth. I'm hoping to see some out here before then, scratching a little burned insects. Because there's a lot of little toasties out there after this fire. Well, this is one of the issues when you do burn something, and you kind of got to be prepared for it, that if you're not careful, you lose some wildlife. Thankfully, this little guy, the forestry, one of our guys from forestry, was a kind-hearted young man. He scooped him up before the fire got him too much. He got a little crispy, but he's good to go. He was in shock. He's out of it, and we're fixing to give him a new lease on life in a nice, thick, vegetative mite. Welcome to your new home, little buddy. And he's good. On this farm continuously for about 25 years. And I can tell you firsthand, it has definitely enhanced our wildlife habitat. I did it early on for quail because quail were struggling. They're still struggling, but we got more now than we did 10 years ago. Turkeys weren't a problem. We were loaded. I could owl hoot and have 6 or 7 outside my doorstep go off, and I just picked the biggest one. But times have changed. Now I'm lucky to hear one bird, and hunting him may be a season-long situation. Now, a lot of debate on when to burn and how to burn. I can just tell you a few things that I've learned through the years, that first-hand experience. You can burn through hardwoods, but if you burn through hardwoods, make sure it's cold. Make sure there's adequate space between the hardwoods. If you burn a regular wood lot that's tight, you're going to kill some oak trees, and it won't show up right off. It will be 4 or 5 years later you'll notice, wait a minute, this big white oak's dead. Why? It's because you burned 5 years ago and it got too hot. So avoid that. If you're going to burn something like an oak savanna, you can. Oak leaves are not a hot fuel like grass, but around that trunk, if you're going to go in and get everything out from around the trunk, and I know it's labor intensive, but that matters. Now, the debate on when to burn. Jury's still out with me. I like a dormant season burn. I feel like turkeys work hard enough to make a nest, avoid a predator. I don't want to be the one that runs fire through and burns a nesting site. I know what they say, that they'll re-nest and the net good. True. All right, I agree with that. But can't we net good it by burning before nesting season? You know, I know you release a different flush of vegetation, and that's what's so beautiful about burning. You got seeds that stay in that seed bank for 20, 30 years, and only fire can release them, and I think the good Lord planned it that way. Man messed it up, but the good Lord had it in the plan all the way. It's like no-till farming. Isn't that a whole lot smarter? Well, God already had that going back when, with tramping the buffalo through, like Dr. Grant Woods talks about with the buffalo system. We came through, ruined the dirt. Now, I don't know about you, but anything I can do to help a turkey at this stage of the game, I will do. I didn't gripe about us starting late in Georgia. I didn't gripe about the 2-bird limit. As a matter of fact, we've self-imposed a 1-bird limit here on our farm for the last 5 to 7 years, just because we noticed the numbers were down so much. Now, back to the burn. As you can see, even though it was greened up, because this has been a very, very warm February into March, things are a full month ahead of schedule, and it still burned. I wondered if it would. It still burned. Now, it got spotty in the oak savanna, but like I said on the video, that's okay. That's okay. That gives us that mosaic quilt effect. You've got food, cover, brood habitat, all in one location. Now we just got to add turkeys. I don't know how you guys' turkeys are looking so far. I know with mine, kind of few and far between, even during deer season, looking where we normally would have winter flocks of 25, 30 birds in them. I saw 6, 7, seen a little scratching. It's hard to discern turkey scratching from hog rooting. but we're about to get those under control. We pray they're about under control. Not seeing them on camera much anymore. The net goods you do with a burn, think about it from just a monetary standpoint, that if we enhanced 47 acres worth yesterday, 47 acres, we did it in less than a day, and it enhanced every wildlife aspect of it. If I got somebody to come in to remove that vegetation, like with a mulch head on, say, a skid steer, I'd be looking at $2,000 or $3,000 to do the same amount of work. Forestry and me doing it with my old girl Red here, that'll probably wind up costing it all in $300, $350. All right, I ain't got that either, but I'm gonna find it. But that does help to really put it in perspective of how economical burning is versus mechanical clearing. So, you know, we talked about the hot season burn thing. I know a lot of people swear by it. I'm still scared. I know a lot of people swear by it. I hadn't seen the benefits, to be honest. Now, hoping that there's nothing better than seeing after you've burned, everything looks black, dead, browned out, and then you get a little rain and all that green flushes up, then all our little bugs start percolating. There's nothing better than looking at that beautiful spring greenery after a burn. Well, there is one thing better. That's seeing a big, mature longbeard strutting about 25, 30 yards away out in that area you just burned. Alright, great luck this spring. Save a turkey, save a poult, light a match. Thank the good Lord for us being able to enjoy His creation. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time on the Whitetail Cartel.